They said, you need to get on the air. There's been an explosion at the marathon finish line. That's all I knew.
We had seen these terrible events like campus shootings. I think it was the 2nd Virginia Tech shootings and probably a few others, certainly too many more. And we had noticed that a lot of times their websites would crash, and that's how they were getting out their information, was through their websites. And so we decided that, God forbid something like that happened to us, we would use both Facebook, Twitter, and a website, because I think it's a lot harder to crash Facebook and Twitter than it is a single website.
Moser said social media helped. Were there any cases that it caused or created more work, more confusion than it helped?
What happened in the Middle East over the last couple of years and having this incident happen in Boston, social media, I believe, is having its day in the media landscape right now. I would temper that by saying that the people on this panel and others are most responsible for cutting through the noise when something like that happens, because there's a lot of speculation going on.
You know, okay, you posted this on Facebook. Do you know how many people are following you now and what you just posted and your room numbers on there, or they know what hospital you're at, or different things like that? You know, as great as social media is, it speaks to how important traditional media is. At some point, you need to have spokespeople that are trusted, who can kind of cut through the clutter, that can work directly with the people who are connected and get those important messages out there.
We designated 3 people from Forum. We designated the owner AUs as of Veto, and we designated 2 of the managers. They were the ones, they were there that day, but they also were the most senior, and they were, I don't want to say less emotional because everyone was emotional, but they were able to manage it in front of media.
The local reporters know the city, and they know the people, and they know Tim, they know Mike, they know me. They know the relationship and the expectations. The national reporters are a little more aggressive, and they do a very good job. They're wonderful, but they're a little more aggressive. So if you're doing a high-level crisis management situation, expect those letter agencies to come at you a little stronger.
We thought about it a little bit, and what we decided was, for every one national media opportunity that we did, we would balance it with a local one, and we really picked and chose, and I think, like you said, the local media got it. They were great to work with.
I would go on the radio and say, you know, you can always come and if you want to do something and you feel you need to do something, show up and volunteer. So a guy showed up from Home Depot as soon as he got off his shift and said, I need to speak to Cat Power. She says I have to volunteer. Which people were moved, and they were amazing. You know, we're always raising money, and it's going to go to shelter costs, and we put 91 cents on every dollar to disaster relief, et cetera, et cetera. But in this case, most of the intentions of our donors, were the people calling us, was how do I make sure that this money goes to the person who just lost a leg, or a foot, or his son. So we were very, very careful to redirect everything to the one fund to make sure that donor intent was not observed, honored.
Even if it was just simply on an emotional level, every one of us was affected.
One of the patients was talking about how, you know, this group of people, and they bonded too, which is really pretty amazing to see those connections made. And she just said, you know, it's okay that this happened to me because I could take it. I could handle it. You know, that could have been a kid in my place. That could have been a lot of different things. And just the amazing kind of strength and spirit they had, and now they're looking forward, is something, you know, as everybody says, it gives you such perspective. So I just feel so fortunate to be able to have a kind of a front seat for that, and then in many ways play a small role in helping, you know, connect the people so they could tell their story.
That's the silver lining, is that there's people who will stand together and run towards a crisis instead of away from it.
To actually be able to help patients who are thrust into this horrible situation. You know, I couldn't fix their wounds, I couldn't do any of that stuff, but, you know, simply explain to them how a media process works, what to expect when a camera comes in the room, or just to be there and say, if you want to stop this, let me know and I will. That's a very small part to play. But also I think what I take away from it is you always have these horrible events, but somehow, some way, afterwards you see this amazing outpouring from a huge community, and everyone wants to know what they can do to help. And unfortunately, it's only after these really big events that you see that. And so just being able to be around and on the front lines for that, and just the simple fact that we can all sleep better at night knowing that there are people who dedicate their lives to saving ours. So.